trying to find a disc Jeep.
In each war since World War I the U.S. has been involved in, the Army has rediscovered the usefulness of military dogs. This was especially true in the early advisory days of the Vietnam War. British success in using dogs to contain communist insurgents in Malaysia prompted the idea of a military dog program for Vietnam. The program had to be improvised from the outset. Importing, training, feeding, and maintaining working dogs, especially in the tropics, is a complicated business. The dogs were effective, however. The Viet Cong believed that the dogs could be trained to pick them out of the general population, for example, and considered them second only to the helicopter as a threat. Finding food for scout and sentry dogs proved to be a problem in a country where dogs themselves are considered part of the food chain. Veterinary Corps personnel found that human food inspection was an important and growing mission as U.S. forces continued to build up. Just finding uncontaminated ice was a problem. By 1967, Saigon alone was using 100 tons a day.
Vaccination.
Mandatory vaccination has always been controversial, most recently with anthrax immunization for our armed forces. The military has often been in the forefront of preventive immunization, beginning with George Washington's orders for inoculation against smallpox for the Continental Army in 1777. When thousands of troops were mobilized along the Mexican border in 1911, Army-developed anti-typhoid vaccine was made mandatory for the Army and Navy. Only one case was reported, a civilian teamster who had refused the treatment. Anthrax is getting most of the attention right now as the first biological agent to actually be used against us. Of the dozens of infectious agents considered for weapons, anthrax was a logical choice. Since infected humans are not contagious, the weapon has a one-way ticket, thereby reducing the danger of uncontrolled epidemics. The Soviet Union spent a great deal on weaponized anthrax until an accidental release in 1979 killed dozens of people in Sverdlovsk. Desert Storm was a massive deployment of American military might. It demonstrated our ability to move huge numbers of personnel halfway around the world and win a significant victory. From the military and medical standpoint, though, Desert Storm was significant for what didn't happen. We did not sustain large numbers of casualties, though we were prepared for them. Our troops were not attacked with chemical or biological weapons. This may have been simply because we had largely neutralized Iraqi artillery, which would have been used to deliver such weapons. It may have been fear of our retaliation had they been used. The medical legacy of Desert Storm is controversy over the causes of Gulf War syndrome. As the name suggests, there's probably no single cause. Oil well fires, insecticides, vaccines, and depleted uranium ammunition have all been implicated. Army Medical Department personnel had to improvise, as they have in every war, to keep the care they provide the best available. Surrendered Iraqi conscripts, who turned out to be most of their patients, certainly benefited. Vietnam was America's longest war. Like Korea, it was an extension of the Cold War between East and West. Like any war, it was a life and death struggle for personnel of the Army Medical Department. Technology played a big role in the battles and treatment of the casualties. The medical unit, self-contained transportable or MUST unit, was deployed by the 45th Surgical Hospital for the first time. Its inflatable modular units were easily moved, but didn't hold up well to rocket attack. The big success story was helicopter evacuation. UH-1 Huey air ambulance crews became legendary for their skill and bravery under fire. Medevac flights coordinated by radio averaged 35 minutes, allowing distribution of wounded to the best hospital care. The wounded who reached a hospital had a 97.5 survival rate. In a country with no secure roads or fixed fronts, the Medevac helicopter was essential to getting the wounded to treatment as quickly as possible.
Thank you for your time.